guys, I got a couple more projects before the snow flies. This is the first weekend in October. My videos, I have 5 or 6 videos that I'm usually ahead of the game, so this one may not air till sometime in November, but that's where we're at timeline. So my wife and my daughter painted the front of the cottage a few weeks ago, and they discovered some rotten wood right underneath that window. So I'm going to pull all this siding off, and I am going to replace that rotten wood and see what else is going on, make sure that everything's good. I'm going to pull down that foil right there, and I'm going to put house wrap in its place. Hi everybody, I'm Jim Dirdorf, and this is Detroit DIY. Let's see what we got going on. I'm ripping this gutter off of here. It's going to get some new gutters. I'm not sure what this stuff is. This must be some type of a waterproof barrier from the early 70s. I'm guessing somewhere in that neighborhood is where this got done, maybe earlier. That might even be some original stuff from, you know, 65 or whatever. Not sure. But this is the rotten wood that my wife found, and this wood is what's holding the siding on, basically. So I'm hopeful that it didn't get into the interior wall. It seems like there's fiberboard against the interior wall, so we'll see, but I'm hopeful that it didn't get behind that fiberboard and hurt the interior wall any. But if it did, I will have a bigger mess on my hands than I had originally thought. So I'm going to pull all of this siding off, and then I'm not putting it back on in the same fashion. So currently there's a gap between the siding with nothing but this foil material in that gap. So what I'm going to do is run these boards through my table saw with a dado blade, and on one side I'm going to come over about an inch and take half of the board away, and then on the back side of the other board I'm going to do the same thing to create a lap joint so that these boards overset each other, but yet with a small gap in them, so that it'll look similar to like a T111 or something, but the rough cut. We like the look of the rough cut, and we want to leave it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some more of these boards off, and then we'll come back and have a look. Like that. Alright, I got all the wood off all the way over to the chimney, and I'll show you what we got going on and why I don't like this foil so much. So as you can see here, the foil is pretty degraded from where the weather's been getting to it. It definitely doesn't hold up. It's just paper backed, some kind of I don't know, I guess it was house wrap back in the day, I'm not sure. But it's pretty poor. They didn't even overlap it right here, and that was the seam of a board. So all of this wood has been exposed, but it seems to be nice and solid. It doesn't seem to be rotten. So they're calling for rain, so I'm not going to pull all of this off just yet. I'll do it in the morning, but I am going to pull some of this down so that I can expose this board and get it pulled out of here and inspect what's behind. So let's get it out of there. I'm not expecting this to be much of a fight, but the board's not horrible down there, so we'll find out. That's not a good sign, guys. You see them nails just come right out of there? That means that wood back there is not good. No, it's not. That means a lot more work. Alright, I'll get the rest of this off and then we'll see what we can do. So I got this wood off, and as you can see behind this fiberboard, that wood is no good. So I don't know exactly what that's going to entail, but I'm going to go ahead and pull this styrofoam off that board, maybe just this styrofoam, and then I'll cut this wall board, pull it out of here, and see what we got. Okay, I got that foam out of there, and I'm just going to take a razor knife and I am going to cut this fiberboard and cut it all the way through, all the way around, and pull it off and get it out of my way. Just want to say, guys, this window was never flashed. I guess it was a step that they thought they didn't need to do, but this is what you run into when you skip processes that are important. To me, that is a huge detail that they just never did here. If they went through all the effort to put waterproofing barrier on and to do everything that they did, why they would go ahead and just skip past flashing these windows, I have no idea. But I'm going to get this fiberboard cut out and get it pulled off. It's just some roofing nails that hold it into place. I'm going to get it pulled off and see what we got. Got the fiberboard cut out and pulled out of the way, and you know, I'm okay with this. There's a little bit of rot on the outside edge of the wood. I've scraped most of it off. The wood is in good shape, just back a little bit. So there's like a, you know, less than a ½ inch or about a ½ inch of questionable wood right here. I'm not going to rip this out and replace it because of that. I'll just weatherproof it and it will be good. So the other thing that I find concerning is there's no insulation. We're in northern Michigan. They didn't put any insulation in the walls. And then there's no way that's 16 inches on center. So I don't know what they're doing, but we're going to be pulling all the paneling off inside anyway and putting drywall. So this will all get insulated, and additional studs will get added if needed. So and this is going to be, you know, a couple-year project here to get this cottage exactly what we want. No big deal, and you guys are going to go along for the ride. So hey, what the hell? It's more content, right? All right, I'm going to get this cleaned up a little bit, and I'm just going to cut me a sheet of ½ inch plywood, I believe, to put back in where that fiberboard was. I got my plywood ready to go in. I cut me a small piece of 2x4 and scabbed it in right here, just to give me something to attach that plywood to on this side. Otherwise I'm good on that side. And I did take a second just to draw out my 2 studs. So that's the center of the studs. So let's get that in there. Alright, there we have it. Now I have to put back the piece of wood that I removed that was rotten. So I'm going to get that cut and we're going to get it in there. When I did the ledger board in the back, I had to cut that wood down, and I pulled some pieces out, and one of them fits in here perfectly. So I'm just going to pop some screws in it, and it's going to be in. Then I'm going to pull down this other material, get the styrofoam back in, pull down this other material, and get some house wrap on. When I was up north doing these repairs, I wasn't sure where I was going to stop one video and start another one. So I'm going to put together a little mini series, and we're going to do some shiplap vertical siding, we're going to do the rotten wood repair, and we're going to replace the fascia board, and we're going to put on some new rafter tails. So guys, join me next week. We're going to get into that fascia board and get it replaced. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed yourself, click on one of those two videos. They're going to pop up right there. And we'll see you next week with some fascia board replacement. And I'd like to give a special thanks to Tony Iaconelli and Brett Wimmer, because none of this could happen without them.